Well, good morning to you. I am Danielle Wiggins with Jasmine Monroe, Maureen Kyle, Dave Chudowski, Holly Strano, and Austin Love. We are the Go Morning Team, and this is the On the Go Post Show on Facebook and YouTube. And today we are breaking down that curfew that goes into effect tonight, as well as the stay-at-home advisories in multiple counties in Ohio. And we want to know, how is it impacting you? How do you perceive that it's going to impact your life? Because we want to get your comments in this conversation that we're having. So feel free to post your perspective in the comments section. But let's go through a recap of what we will be experiencing tonight statewide, starting at 10. Dave, tell us a little bit more about that curfew.
Yeah, Danielle, the governor, Mike DeWine, says the curfew is designed to try to limit person-to-person contact. That's the idea here. So it goes into effect tonight at 10 for all non-essential businesses. It will then run from 10 until 5 a.m. daily for the next 21 days. The curfew does not include work. People going to or from work, those who have an emergency or need medical care, going grocery shopping or to the pharmacy, picking up carryout, or a drive-through meal. So you ask, what's the punishment for violators? It's considered a second-degree misdemeanor, but even Governor DeWine admits the curfew is not likely to be enforceable by law. So basically, if you're driving in your car at that time, the police aren't going to pull you over. But if they see a group of, 10 or more people, or they see something suspicious or that they don't like, then they would have the right to go over and take care of that then. So those are the bullet points, the nuggets for you, Danielle.
Thank you so much. And yeah, it comes into effect tonight at 10, goes to 5 a.m. And I see a number of you already starting to check in. Kristen Gianovisi says, it doesn't affect me at all. I'm happy to remain home to save many people in my community, if that's a possibility at this point. I haven't been anywhere anyhow since February, except the grocery store. So wow, she's really been locking down. And Jasmine and Austin, you guys have been talking about these advisories that are in effect in counties in Ohio: Franklin, Franklin, Medina, and Cuyahoga. Austin, we'll start with you. Break down that Medina advisory for us.
Yeah, so I've been live in Medina all morning in the advisory. And again, it's an advisory. It's not an order. It's not a mandate. It's simply an advisory. But that went into play today. So residents are basically asked to only leave their home if they're going to work, if they're going to school. Essential needs, they can do that too, like going grocery shopping, going to the pharmacy, pick up delivery options as well. And the county is also strongly encouraging people to stay in state, not go out of state. And if you're going to do that, they want you to quarantine as well. So also the big one, we've talked about this numerous times on this show, they are really encouraging people not to have big gatherings for Thanksgiving and during the holidays, as well as for the next 28 days. So they don't want anyone who's not living in your home to be inside your home for the next 28 days, including Thanksgiving as well. But if you choose to do that, again, it's an advisory. It's not an order. It's not a mandate. Those will be, you'll have to have those gatherings limited to 10 people. And that also includes limiting funerals, weddings, and also parties. So only 10 people can be at those gatherings at a time. So for anyone also experiencing any symptoms on this, they have to self-isolate for 10 days. So yeah, so what's going on in Medina County right now.
And Jasmine, it's similar in Cuyahoga County, but the positivity rate in Cuyahoga County, wow, it's pretty high.
Yeah, it's a 15% positivity rate. So pretty much they just broke it down. If 100 people go to the hospital, at least 15 people will be diagnosed with COVID. So that's enough perspective for you to, figure out how serious it is. And then they also talked about Case Western Reserve did a study. They made a model just pretty much saying in the next week, we're going to see at least 1,000 to 2,000 cases. And this just brings me back to what Amy Acton was saying. It was like only 200 cases and 50 cases a day, times we used to see. And then now these are the very models that she pretty much seen it coming if we weren't wearing those masks. So those are the things that I'm thinking about now. And it's just, it's all so surreal, and we just got to do what we need to do to get out of this.
So we're asking everyone, how do you guys think that these advisories and this curfew is going to affect you? S. Allen Huff says, it won't affect me at all. I'm in bed by 10 p.m. Sometimes I sleep too. Angie is saying to shut schools down. We covered that as well this morning. Christine, she's responding. She said, I might imagine that they can't all close early. We have transportation trucks that travel overnight for deliveries. So again, it's those things that are essential. They still will be open. And Maureen, you had a really interesting interview yesterday that you talked a little bit about this morning.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, and I'm sure everybody who's watching right now is thinking, all right, so what does this mean 1 week from today when it's Thanksgiving? And I talked to the Board of Health, Suzanne Rush from the Board of Health. She's kind of in charge of their food safety board there. And I talked to her before these recommendations came out, in all transparency here. But I think a lot of people are wondering, okay, well, I was already going to limit it to maybe just mom and dad or grandma and grandpa, maybe my sister or brother, whatever. They were already going to limit it. And now these recommendations come out saying like, nope, don't go anywhere, only essential. So I think that has a lot of people wondering, okay, so what do I do now? Do I just stay at home by myself? Am I doing virtual? They break it down this way. And as Austin even mentioned, these are recommendations. These are recommendations. This is not law. This is not Governor DeWine shutting things down. These are counties saying this is what we recommend. So this is what the county Board of Health still recommends. Safest is to only have Thanksgiving with people within your household and do a Zoom or a virtual dinner with anybody who's outside of your household. That is, no matter what, the safest. Less safe, this is how they categorize it, is having 10 or less people. So if you do incorporate somebody who lives outside of your household into your own home, what they're recommending is take temperatures, obviously, before you head out the door. Make sure nobody has any symptoms whatsoever. I mean, just be honest. I think we're all at that point now where if we feel a little bit bad, we're not going anywhere. So that might be an easy thing to do. The hard one is the masks at Thanksgiving. So they are saying, you go into your mom and dad's house, you're wearing that mask the whole time unless you're eating. And I said to her, I'm like, well, it's Thanksgiving. You put food out, you're eating the whole time. The whole holiday is eating. So what are you going to do? And she was saying, yeah, we get that. But you're walking around, you're talking, stay as far away from each other as possible. If you have a 12-person table, she said stagger people, like 12-person table, but 6 people at your house. Don't have somebody directly across from you. Stagger it so you're kind of kitty corner from everybody. Make sure that it's only take your mask off to eat and drink, and then put it back on when you're talking and socializing and whatever. Hopefully, I know Holly was saying it might be a little bit of a rainy day, but try and have those gatherings outside. The least safe, like the biggest risk, and I think this is no surprise for anybody, big gatherings. Like, so if you're like, hey, my 8 aunts and uncles, brothers, sisters, everybody, bring all 20 kids. That's going to be your most risky. Don't go Black Friday shopping, shop online. They have the deals on there too. And if you are even getting together with anybody, don't do buffet style. Make sure that you have one person individually plating, one person touching the serving utensil, wash your hands, sanitize, etc.
So I'm hearing from a number of you. Bernadette, she says, I don't see it making a difference, talking about the curfew. For bars and restaurants, it's a 1-hour change. However, that 1-hour change for a single parent trying to make ends meet is a lot. Actually, it's not a 1-hour change because at 10 p.m. they could still stay open. Before they just couldn't serve alcohol, but now they are expected to close at 10 p.m. but they can still do like takeout and carry out and things like that, but you can't be in the restaurant after 10 p.m. And so then Deborah says the curfew makes no sense. Most activity is pretty much done during daylight time, so why make the curfew at night? So we have 1 more minute. Anyone else have, anything to chime in about this, how it's going to impact, your life specifically? Like for me, I'm in the bed until about 1:32 and then, come here. But the weekends, and then as we move into the holidays. I know for me, my family, we have decided just to stay at home, and it's just going to be us four. So it's only me cooking Thanksgiving dinner for the first time ever. So any tips I would need it from you guys who are good cooks. But what about you?
I think I'll just chime in this way because I know we're running out of time. We were so careful back in March and April, and everybody did their part to really lock it down. It was hard. It was exhausting. Spring holidays were all virtual without family. We have to kind of put ourselves back in that mind frame. I think that the biggest thing people are suffering from is quarantine exhaustion. I mean, we've done stories on this, there's stats on it, and now's not the time to get exhausted about it. Now's the time to really put your guard up.
It's funny that you say that, Mo, because I mentioned, yes, I'm working on this mental health series, and I was speaking with someone on Zoom yesterday, and I said, I have Zoom exhaustion.
Yeah.
I mean, even these Zooms that we're expected to do, I'm exhausted from the Zooms. But to go along with maybe an idea for Thanksgiving, since at least it'll be mild enough that we're talking the possibility of rain, maybe, you set some stuff up in the garage, because we hear over and over again that being out in the fresh air is so much better. So maybe that's an option. You throw on the sweatshirts and set up a couple tables in the garage.
Yeah, or people can stop by outside and not eat and just say hi and then go back.
Right. Get creative with it.
And so as we close, want to get a few more comments in here before we say goodbye. Sebastian, he says, we have just gone into a full 6-day lockdown in South Australia. So, wow. And welcome from Australia. And then Karen, she says, with the holidays coming, it is natural to see an increase in cases. This will not work. It's just punishing the small businesses. So please continue to comment and let us know what you're thinking and how this is going to impact your lives. And of course, we will continue to cover this and be on top of it for you. You can check all the latest on WKYC.com and the 3 News app. Have a great Thursday, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow at 4:30.
Bye.
Bye-bye.